our minds to be able to reach those praying and for this time. Most of these situations, most of the time, it could be our fault. Because, you know, I keep on talking about mindset. Mindset is a very powerful tool. The way you think is the way things are going to work around you. Now, usually, when you think things are not going to be okay, things will never be okay. When you think things are going to be fine, it's going to be fine. But then, thinking of things being okay is not the answer to your solution. You have to find a way to be able to beat that situation so that you can reach your destination. I pray you understand what I'm about to tell you today. You see, our mindset belittles our ability to progress. Sometimes when we have a mindset and we think that this is how we think and that is it, we're not going to make any changes, but this is what we believe and this is what it's going to be, you are going to still stay within that same box and you're not going to get anywhere. And that is why I always tackle mindsets, because the problem that I'm seeing in the so-called third world countries, in many countries, but especially the third world countries, is that the way certain people think and the way people do their own, or people carry on with their lives, does not help them to reach any point in life. And sometimes you can see people praying 24 hours a day, you know, doing all sorts of funny things, yet they do not reach their destination. I'm not being funny, but when I say the word funny, I mean that people do things that in reality, when you are in your right proportional mind, or when you understand things properly, there are certain things that I believe are not proper direction for you to reach your destination. And what do I mean by that? Most of us are Christian. I'm a Christian, but there are other religious people, Muslims and others, and it does not happen to only a particular religious person or body. It happens across board. As a human being, it happens to all of us. And within this situation, and especially with Christians, things happen that makes us think that our prayers are not being answered. The problem is that we don't have confidence in ourselves. You know, most of the time we think that our situation can be handled or can be helped by somebody else. So we look at other people and our confidence is taken from us, and based on what we trust or that can be solved by others, our confidence is shifted to that person or to that particular media for us to reach or to receive what we are praying for. Excuse me. We spend more times, we spend more hours in going to church and worshiping. It is good to go to church. It is magnificent. As I keep on saying, I'm a preacher. But God has given you the ability to think, to work, and to worship. And that is why God has created days for you to worship Him and time for you to work. But most of us, what we do is that, and especially in Africa, especially in Ghana, I can't talk about other countries, but in Ghana, where I come from and where I know much, people can be in church almost 7 days a week, or minimum of 5 days a week, pray midnight to the following morning, and then they go back home and then sleep, go back to church and keep on praying. Yes, it is good to pray, but you keep on praying, but you are not putting in any action in your personal life to reach your destination. Now, when you keep on praying, yes, the Lord will answer you, the Lord will hear you, but it is for you to take a step. It is for you to do certain things, to go to work. Now, if you go to work, or if you pray, you want a job, you've gotten a job, and you keep on praying about it, thanking the Lord that you've gotten a job, and thank you, and you keep on going to church to pray, you are going to be sacked. You know, we have to, excuse me to say, sometimes we have to have an open mindset. We have to come out of this box. You know, we have been tuned to think or to understand certain things in a different way. God does not work like that. God wants us to worship Him, to praise Him, to respect Him, and to do the right thing. But God also wants you to have a life, not for you to box yourself in a particular worshiping area. I'm not talking about church alone, worshiping area, so that you worship 24 hours a day. And why does this happen? Because a particular person will stand there as being the leader or a preacher or a teacher. And as you keep on going there and worshiping, what happens is that this person might end up also doing his own business. He is working or she is working, and you are falling a victim to that situation, because this person is working, because whenever you come, there's an income that is coming to this person. I'm sorry, certain people might not agree with me, but if you come out of this box, you will understand exactly what I'm trying to tell you. I am a pastor myself, I'm a preacher myself, I'm a bishop myself, but I've seen this problem going on, that if we are not careful, people are going to turn away from worshiping the Lord, because they're going to be fed up, because they are being pushed to do or to reach certain points that they are not supposed to reach there. True people of God will not keep you from going to work, will not keep you. People are losing their marriages simply because they are spending more time thinking that they are worshiping the Lord. So therefore they do not have time for their families, for their wives, for their husbands, for their children. And when you do that, what happens is that you're going to have a broken home. And when that happens, you keep on praying and say, but God, how come? But God has given you a nice home, but you have broken it. You have created a situation whereby you believe in what somebody is telling you. You believe in what somebody who is also making life good for him or herself telling you to do. Some preachers are not doing the right thing. Some preachers are misleading us, and I believe that is wrong. Today, do you know the value of yourself? Do you know what you have? Do you know what God has given you? Most of us simply don't know. Most of us think that our situation is useless without a person who is going to stand there and tell us what to do, going to give us directions, going to tell us to come to a place of worship 4 days a week, 5 days a week. Place of worship should be limited to certain times, and the rest should be limited to other times. Time for your family, time for your wife or your spouse, time for your education, time for looking or working or looking for jobs. There is time for everything. In the Bible, Ecclesiastes 3:1, it says there is time for everything. And if you do not have a time for a particular thing, you're going to mix it and you're not going to reach your destination. Our preachers become our God. Now, most of the time we feel that the man of God, sometimes I see people behaving in a funny way and I baffle. You understand? Preachers making people do very silly things, chewing funny things, chewing snakes, and they feel like they're chewing chocolate. That is not the worshiping of the Lord. That is being misconception. That is making your mind think differently from what it's supposed to be. Thinking differently from what is right or what is actually happening is totally not going to help you to reach your destination. We have made some preachers become whatever, I'm out of words. But what I want you to understand is that preachers are humans like me and you. I am a preacher, but the only thing about preachers is that the true preachers is that the Lord has touched them, or they have a divine directions to help you reach your goal, but not to siphon what you have. If you really want to do the word, or if you want to do the right thing, you don't have to give your money to giving your money to people who claim to be doing God's work. Yes, you can help or give support the ministry of the Lord, but most of the time, think about the children in need. Think about charity. Go to the streets. I mean, in my country, Ghana, you'll be very surprised. Sometimes you see children who are seriously in poverty. When you go to, I went to India the other time, and I was surprised. I was so flabbergasted what I saw. You understand? People are actually giving food to the gods that they believe in, whilst kids were suffering. They did not have anything to eat. I mean, these are, I believe, has something that we have to think about, seriously consider, and reconsider our mindset. Because if you're truly worshiping a supreme being, or if you're truly worshiping God, what God loves from us is peace, and we have to do the right thing. And doing the right thing is really making sure that those in need will receive from us, so that we can also receive from the Lord. Because the Lord will answer your prayer through somebody, and the Lord will answer somebody's prayers through you. What I want to conclude here today is this. Let us not see other people as superior beings than us. Let us respect men of God, yes. Let us respect people who are doing God's work, yes. But sometimes let us look between the lines and realize, is this person truly doing the right thing? I mean, how can a preacher claims that he has so many airplanes or whatever, and then you don't even have money to, what do you call it? Sometimes you have to walk home from church, from that same church, because you have enriched that person to become what they are. What I pray for today is that you have a value in you. You must start understanding that value, and you must use it wisely. Now, for you, sometimes there are natural things that can help you to relax, to understand certain things. Now, today I'm going to show you just one thing. You know, sometimes when you are confused and you do not understand what is happening, or how to be able to think positive, so that you can do away with all this negativity. This is the procedure. If you have a pen and a paper, there's a plant called rosemary. When you get a rosemary, you get bay leaf. Bay leaf is also a leaf. And then with that, there's a plant called 5 fingers grass. 5 fingers grass. Now with that, you add another plant called sandalwood. And then when you put all this together, you add a little bit of salt. Put it in water. Just put it in for about 2 hours. After that, take it all out and then wash with it. You might repeat this process for some time, but then you realize that your mind, your thinking, your understanding, you'll be more relaxed, and you'll be more focused to understand other things. It is not something that's going to change your mind, your understanding, no, but it's going to help you. It's going to soothe you to be able gradually to come out of your situation. This would only happen if you're ready to change. But if you're not ready to change, nothing can change you. Thank you, and let's meet again. All the best. Yeah, welcome once again with Time with Spiritus. I have a topic for us today to discuss about. I think it's something that might raise an eyebrow, or might help us understand certain things. Usually we as Christians, or we as religious people, we sometimes tend not to want to understand certain things, and we tend to think that certain things are really not going to be helpful, or it's against our beliefs and things like that. But what you must understand is that the Lord has made everything for us, and from the beginning, from the day you're born to the day you die, you go through so many phases and so many things in life. Usually when these challenges happen within your life, sometimes you seek for solutions, you pray for answers, and you still don't get answers to these questions. But the problem is that what you don't seem to understand is that most of these things can easily be solved by yourself. Because, first of all, you simply must know how to identify or where to find your solution based on what has been given to you freely by your Maker. When you're able to understand these things, then I can assure you almost nothing is going to be impossible for you, and you're going to be able to glide through your life without least problems. Sometimes we judge ourselves and we judge the answers to our solutions, and the moment you start judging the answers to your solutions, that is very dangerous, because you're not going to reach anywhere. As I said the other day, we have to come out of our box. We have to come to the open field and see what is out there. Sometimes we're just enclosed in a very small shelter, and we think all that is around us is all that is really within the world for us. But I'm telling you, when you come out of that box, you realize that the world is far bigger, and there's far a lot of things to understand that you want to understand. Now, in the Christian Bible, in the book that I believe in, there's a verse in the Bible, is a very interesting verse, and that is Proverbs 25 verse 2. Then it tells us something. It says, "It is the glory of the Lord to conceal a matter." What that means is that it is the glory of God to hide things from us, to hide things. But then again, it continued and said, "It is the glory of a king to find that matter that is hidden." And it's not just for a king, and it's also the glory for a queen to find that matter that is hidden. Now, what this is trying to tell you is very simple. It means that everything around you is hidden. I mean, there's gold around you, but you can't find it until you search for it. Sometimes you might just even be standing next to it. Everything is hidden, but the moment you have a mindset to find what is hidden and you really search for it, you'll find it. And when you're able to find it, that will be, or that is what is going to make you a king or a queen in your life. Now, what I'm trying to get to is this. Most of us, what I say us, I mean religious people, we just tend to put a blind eye or tend to switch off to certain teachings or certain things that will make us understand. Why? Because some of our leaders would also try to discourage us from knowing these things so that we can always be slaves to what they want you to understand, so that they can feed or vampire upon you. But I'm not going to allow that to happen. I'm just going to use my small understanding or this small media to teach you so that you can be able to help yourself to come out of certain situations, to help yourself to come out of certain sicknesses, certain mental torture, certain bullying. Everything can be solved or can be done by yourself to come out of that situation, provided you know how to go about it. Today I'm going to discuss with you, I'm going to tell or teach you something about the colors of the day, because we've discussed about angelic days and the angels of the hours and things like that. So today I want to also discuss further. Usually we have 7 days in the week, and everything around you has an application to help you or to drop you from reaching your destination. But if you only know the positive things and how to reach there, then it is easy for you to get there. Now, I want to tell you the colors of the day. Now, each day has its own preferable color. That is the word I'm going to use. And usually, when you're having prayers and you have an altar, it is advisable if you can use that color for that day. Well, if you choose to wear maybe much color of that particular day, well, I don't see it making any harm. I think it's even for the positive. And when you come to understand these colors and know how to apply it, you'll be very surprised how things can change more better for you. Now, the colors of the days are this, and if you have a pen, I'm going to start with Sunday. The color of Sunday is yellow. Now, from Sunday, then we come down back to on Monday. Monday is white. Then Tuesday is red. Wednesday is purple. Thursday is blue. Friday is green. And Saturday is black. Now, some people are going to say, whoa, what is he talking about? Color black? You see, the problem is that we have a certain mindset that everything that is black is no good. And that is what you've been taught. Let me tell you something. It will be very bad for you to go to a wedding wearing black. But it's also going to be very bad for you going to a funeral wearing white, pure white. You understand? So there is a color for every particular day and for every particular reason or instance. So if you know how to apply the particular colors, then it will also help you to reach a certain goal. Just like as I said, going to a wedding with black, what are people going to think about you? It's meant for mourning. You understand? And also, the color white is meant for victory. But you know what? It doesn't always mean like that. It doesn't always mean like that at all. It is only for what we believe it is used for. But then, when you're talking about the spiritual sense of it, the colors represent a very significant part of your life, especially when it comes to days of the week. And these are the colors that I've told you. Now, when you are making a prayer, and then for example, you want to use a candle. The olden days, there were no lighting systems like bulbs and things like that. So what they were using was wax, which were candles. So usually, people like the Catholic Church, they still maintain using candles. So if you want to pray during these days and you want to use a candle, then the best candle to use for a particular day will be based on the color that I've just said to you. Now, I also want to discuss or tell you something, that the plants around you, the leaves around you, have certain magnificent things that it does. But before I get to that, you might ask, well, does these colors also apply for doing certain good things and bad things? Yes, it does, but I'm not going to tell you about it, because sometimes you have to be very careful. These teachings that I'm teaching you can be very, very, very beneficial for you. But then sometimes we have people which might have certain hearts and might turn it the other way around, and that is why it is always best. It's like electricity. Electricity can be used to do good, and sometimes it can also hurt, and we don't want to go that way. We want to do what can help us as people and ask what the Lord has given us. Use it positively and be able to achieve the kinship or the queenship within you. Now, when it comes to plants, there's a common plant called alfalfa plant. It has some magnificent things that it can do. There is no power in that plant, but the Lord has put certain gifts within that plant. It's like taking certain plants and it helps you out of certain sicknesses. It is the same way that if you know certain plants to just put it in water and just wash with it daily, it will bring you good wealth. And this alfalfa, that's what I'm talking about. I mean, if every day you put alfalfa in your bathing water for every day for a period of time, you realize that most negativities are cleared out of you, and everything that you do brings prosperity. And these are the things that we need to know. These are some of the hidden things that you need to know and understand. So the plant I'm talking about is called alfalfa. Now, when for example, there's a plant called mistletoe. It's a very common plant, and rose flower. And then there's another plant with the combination of these three plants. There's another plant called vanilla. It's actually used for ice cream. Now, if you're able to get these plants together and also do your daily bath and wash with, what that happens is that any positive thing, for example, if when you are within people and they think of you badly, you realize that somehow somebody is going to come out and let you know that this is what these people are planning about you or talking about you. It's very strange, but these are some of the hidden things. I call it strange because it is strange. It might be strange to some of you, but to me it's not, because these are some of the things that the Lord are hidden, and these are some of the things that you have to uncover to be able to help you to reach your destination of being a king or a queen. Now, there are certain things called bath. Is there truly a healing in bathing and things like that? You know what? Normal bathing, if you know the necessary things to apply, you'll be very surprised what can be done. Now, when I'm talking about healing, I'm talking about spiritual healing. I'm talking about physical healing. I'm talking about mental healing. I'm talking about healing, that's something that is within you that needs to be cleansed out. All those things can be part of healing. And to be able to come out or bring certain negative instrument out of you, or to know that you are healed from certain situation, these are what you would need. You have eucalyptus. This is also a plant. Just about few of it, and then half portion of sandalwood. So if you have, let's say, 1 portion of eucalyptus, you need half portion of sandalwood. Then you need 1.5 cup of normal basic sea salt. You mix all these three things together, and then if you're Christian, you pray over it. Psalms 23. Now you pray 3 times over it, and then request the Lord to bless it. Then after that, put that in a bathtub, just lay in it and wash yourself, or you can wash yourself with a bucket, and you'll be very surprised. Do this for about 3 days, and it will clear most negativity things within you. It will clear, it will bring you healing, and you would really marvel how the Lord had brought you out of that situation. And then if you are other religion, if maybe you belong to other religion, you might not use the psalm, but you can use a verse in your book, or your spiritual book, what I mean by the Holy Quran, or any other teaching book, and you go to a verse that talks about fighting any negativity, being able to be the Lord blessing you. Just use that verse and pray over it 3 times, and do the same procedure, and it's going to work for you. Next time, I think what I'm going to do is that I'm going to teach you more of these things. I'm going to discuss with you more of these things, how to do this or apply certain things to get certain certain results. And as you do them, and as the results come, sometimes you can place them, you can put them on Facebook or during the the discussion section, so that you can share your experience, and then we take it from there. Thank you, and I'll be meeting you next time.
Yema ya hwefo nyina akwaba eba time with spiritus. We Bishop Nana Yeboa spiritus nimre eni. Na ene enchechira ye de ebremo no encheche bia efa honhom a ekasafa obi mu.